Hey folks, and welcome to the Pipnotic Symposium for the 30th of November 2021. Today is a day where I do two symposiums. I did one just a moment ago about, just like a trade analysis, buy and sell zones, and now I'm going to do another one where I cover X-ray and fractals as requested in the forum by the Kilted Trader, our Scottish friend, and Philip in London. And so I'm going to cover these two topics quickly. The kids are home, so it might get a little bit volatile and noisy, but I'll try and wrap this up as soon as I possibly can. Okay, so starting with X-ray. X-ray is simply a tool that enables us to look inside other candles. So we have monthly candles, so wouldn't it be nice to be able to look inside the monthly candle to see what daily candles look like inside the monthly candle, hence the name X-ray. So I wrote this probably 10 years ago, a really long time ago, for this purpose. And what I like about it is that it enables me to spot really interesting continuation patterns that often occur within very bullish or bearish weekly and monthly candles. So if you look at this, this is a really good example of that, where we have, if we look here, we have kind of a high, price rejected, and then price rallied, accumulated. Then we had, huge strength. This is a month of buying. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 4.5 weeks of bullish weekly candles as well. Okay, and so what we want to do in a situation like this is we want to focus on stuff. Let me actually use a different drawing tool. We want to focus on stuff like this, because right here, this is where we had the continuation pattern within this month of trading. The sell zone starts, the buy zone starts here. So this is probably where we'll start to see some reactions as price pokes into this one here before we continue higher, or whatever price decides to do. And it's pretty cool because if we have a look at the settings, I shan't go into too much detail because there is a tutorial that covers this. But we do have a setting here, the greater period multipliers, 1, 2, 3. And so this shows the candles on the current time frame +1, +2, and +3. So if I'm on the hourly chart, it's going to show me the 4-hour, the daily, and the weekly. Okay. And it's super useful, because when I change time frames, I go to the hourly chart, well, then it already knows which time frames to display, and it's going to display the 4-hour, the blue, the daily, the red, and then we have our weekly candles, which are orange. And so it's super useful for this. And you can see here we had the same thing occur, where we had price rally, we moved sideways, these are almost like distribution candles. We have divergence here, price finally breaks away, and so the release point is probably somewhere in here, which is where we had the one Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and on Friday we had a huge bearish candle. So if price returns back to this little, you see the tops of these candles are white, this tells us we have distribution going on here. So this is where we have liquidity changing hands, so moving from one side of the market to the other side of the market. So from the sell side to the buy side on the sell side of the market. Okay, and so we can expect that when price comes here, we'll likely see price continue to move lower. Okay, but my favorite time frame is actually this one, the hourly. I'll leave it on the hourly, and then I just click through the pairs one by one. So if we have a look at this one, this is the Euro American dollar. We'll see what this looks like quickly. Okay, it looks like this. And this is interesting because this is one of my favorite patterns, where we have very strong selling, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks of sideways price movement. So we have value, perceived value here. Actually, that's not the right one. It's going to be somewhere like this. Okay, and so we had tests below, tests above, and we had the highs moving lower, test, and then we have pop. So what does that mean? That means that we want to be selling from around here, because this is the place where price broke away. And so the details of this move originate from here. And just here, the end of this week, the beginning of this week, we also had sideways price movement. So this is also a price sensitive area. Keep in mind the fact we have a liquidity void here and one here. And so currently we can expect price to wriggle higher to rebalance this and to rebalance this. Okay, so this is another example. Let's have a look at one more example before I move on to discuss fractals. Okay, so this is the pound American dollar. This is the hourly chart. And so what you can see here is you can see the price is just wriggling south. And there's not a lot of clarity on this time frame, but what we can see is we can see how price, we came down, we distributed, we sold off, we moved back into that distribution, we came down, we moved higher, we moved down, we rallied, accumulated, moved north, we came back to this price nodule, we came up, and then we removed it. So this removed this, so this is the sell right around here. Okay, price came to it, and then it continued lower. Okay, and now price is looking to do what? We don't know. But what we can do is we can go to a slightly bigger time frame, one greater, and here we can see the details. And you can see that we actually have price imbalance here. Oops, wrong tool. Price imbalance here we have to deal with. We have this one as well. Okay, and so looking at where we are on the grand scale of things, look here, see where a monthly rally pops up, we come back south, we start to wriggle north. So this is, if you look at this, I mean, this is where we have kind of equilibrium. So if we kind of take the fat of it just around here. Okay, so a push higher to attract sellers, a push lower to attract buyers. The buyers won. Okay, and so this is where price currently is sitting. See, it's kind of sitting on this this historical perceived value, bullish liquidity, and this is where price is currently sitting. Okay, so it's super interesting for that reason. It enables you to find price inefficiencies on multiple time frames at the same time, and it also enables you to find where these beautiful continuation patterns within these weekly and monthly candles occur, so that you can pinpoint those for your entries. Okay, good. Enough about X-ray. And if you want more information about the X-ray, in the indicators section on the premium videos, you will see there's a video in there. You can just click on that, and that goes into greater depth regarding the settings and how this piece of software is used. Okay, so let's now turn our attention to fractals. So what are fractals? Move that. Get rid of the volume. And so I think we all know what fractals are, but people who don't know what a fractal is essentially a swing high or a swing low. Okay, and fractals are super powerful because they were showing you where we have historical agreement to move price in an opposite direction. Okay, we had this one here. Okay, price went down and it moved up. So there was a reason that price turned around here, and that was because we had buying or profit taking. Okay, we have another one here. Price comes back down, then it moves up and away. Okay, and now price leaves this fractal. We come down, we test this demand, we come up, we print a lower fractal, telling us that we have the thinner side of the market is below price. Price removes this, so this becomes our reference point for the future. Price comes to it. Okay, when price moves away from this one here, we move above this, becoming our reference point for the future. We test it, we come back down, and price has not yet been back to this one here. And so what fractals are doing, and I created like this this super simple tool that is available in the software channel on the Discord server, where we have these dots, and these are called origins. And the reason I call these origins, and the reason they have different colors, is that once they're gray, that means that price has moved beyond them. So that means that price will likely go beyond the next one. And so here you can see that we have an orange one here. What does that mean? Well, that means that once price finally figures out what it's going to do and begins to challenge this low, it's likely going to move to at least this price here, likely lower. We have this one here above price, so price will go at least this high, likely higher. Okay, and so the whole concept of using fractals is very powerful, because it's showing us how the flows are affecting the historically respected areas. And I think it'd actually be quite interesting to connect these fractals, just for fun. Go something like this. And it kind of gives you like a pretty good understanding of how price expands. It kind of gives you a kind of a channel that you can expect price to somewhat visit or respect. I don't know if you can at all actually, but it's certainly pretty. But the good thing about fractals is that they enable you to see where we have commitment, and the reason they are useful to us is because they show us historically where we had these prices that the traders were agreeing on. And so Bill Williams, he calculated fractal, well, he qualified fractals saying if we have a high, in order for this one to be a fractal, we have to have two lower on each side of it, like so. Okay, so that would qualify this as being a fractal. And the same applies for a low. You have one here, you have two that are greater than or equal, that one's equal, than the one in the middle. Okay, so that would qualify this one as being a fractal or a swing low. I don't like to call them fractals because fractal is something else in mathematics where you have a picture you can continually zoom into and you're seeing the same no matter the scale of what you're looking at. So when I refer to prices being fractal, I'm not referring to a swing point, I'm referring to the appearance of price patterns on one time frame that are also visible on another time frame. So you can see price structures and price patterns on the monthly that are identical to ones that you'll see on the minute chart. Okay, and so this is a more accurate definition of the word. But for some reason he called these fractals, and I think actually no, he was referring to his love of chaos theory in doing so. But essentially what he means is that you have respect for a given level, as I've mentioned now, where you have a high here, and for two periods on each side there is respect for that area. And what does that mean? Well, that means that this high here and this low here, they are of importance because we had two periods of respect on either side. Okay, and so if you have fractals beginning to do this, well, that means that we have an underlying understanding that price is to increase in the same going as price continues to move lower. So when you see this happening, and you can see this pretty clearly with the origins indicator, if you have orange dots above price, well, that means that there is a key interest on respecting the prices and beginning to draw it lower. You can see orange, 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 orange. These are all gray. That means that price is going down. Okay, and this is telling us where price will potentially go to into the future, because it's going to draw back up to these historically respected areas in the future. And you'll find, as a matter of fact, that origins or fractals, they are essentially the same, where the origins can actually have maybe 7 bars on each side that are respected, or 50, or 1, depending on the configuration, but they are showing respect for a price, a protection of a given price, be it a high price or a low price. Okay, and the fact that they are colored gray means that price has simply decided to no longer respect that price, and so these become obsolete and no longer valid to us within this price structure here. Okay, they will likely become relevant in the future when price returns to them, but for the time being, as price continues to drift lower, we are just showing that we are beginning to wash out the liquidity below price. And so you have the thick end of the book is below, and it gets thinner and thinner and thinner the higher we go. Okay, and so this is just a really nice visual representation of that. And so fractals are very beautiful for that. They're a very clear way for you to visually see what direction the direction of price is most likely to move. Okay, I'm going to leave it at that. It's starting to pour down here. Actually, it's been pouring with rain for the past hour. Maybe you can hear that in the background. But I hope this was interesting. I hope this helped answer your question, guys. If not, let me know and I will have another go. Thanks so much for watching.